Greetings, everybody. Just Romero here. So, I decided to do my discussion focus on Madam C.J. Walker, who was born on December 23rd, 1867, just a short time after the end of the Civil War. And I thought her story was very interesting, very encouraging, in spite of her early years after the postbellum period of the Civil War. She was born to former slaves. Um, and so she grew up in the beginning of it very tragic. By the age of 7, she was orphaned. Um, and 7 years later, by the age of 14, she got married at a very young age. She became a mother by the age of 17. And her husband passed away in by the time she was 19, early 20s, or early 20. And so after that, she had moved to St. Louis, where she became a washwoman. She was married for a second time for a short period, and she did this for 17 years as a washerwoman in the St. Louis area. And it was there that she met a bunch of other African Americans who had become very successful in this post-bellum period in various ventures in their early capitalism of starting up different businesses, reporters, newspapers, if you will. One of them was a gentleman by the name of C.J. Walker, who became a very good friend of hers. And when she later on, as she spent all these years as a washerwoman, uh, the hard life of stress got to her. But she was encouraged by these people that she had met in that and through the church that she was going to, um, and other business ventures. And so one night she prayed to God for wisdom, guidance, as we often do, and especially with her losing her hair. And she recalls that she in a dream she was inspired to come up with um, a new business, if you will, or a new product. And so she did. Her and her daughter set out working on various different recipes, and she actually came up with this really good anti or hair loss um, product that she created. And sure enough, it helped her with her hair loss. And from that point, she decided to market it. And so she moved from from St. Louis to the Denver area because St. Louis already had a lot of different businesses, and she didn't want to compete. She wanted to go somewhere that was new and fresh. So she set out west a little bit more and set up her business in Denver initially. And she took the name C.J. Walker, Madam C.J. Walker, because she felt that it was more of a selling point for her. So already she was getting into the whole marketing, if you will, the whole capitalism. And so she set out early on. She became quite an entrepreneur. And so what's inspiring about this story is that she was able to go from basically rags to riches in such a short time, and one of the first, if in fact she was actually the first female African American entrepreneur to become a millionaire and to create a hair loss product, which is pretty phenomenal. I mean, she literally started a whole new area of the economy, which is pretty fantastic for a woman of her situation, of her basically um, rags to riches beginning. Um, so that's what I wanted to focus on, and I wanted to emphasize that in spite of the Civil War era and the postbellum period of transition, there were African Americans who were able to pull themselves up and to work hard and create basically new parts of the economy. And not only that, but often many of them traveled from the east, from the south, and they traveled out west as the trains and the rail lines were built up, and more businesses such as J.C. Penney and others, Sears, headed out west. So did people like Madam C.J. Walker. And so I find that very interesting. Very encouraging, very kind of cool part of our history. Not a lot of people know that, but I will share some links from like the History Channel and some very interesting articles that I had read covering her life. Okay, take care.